Nidan structure and everything. So Nidan was started in 1996 and I got married to him in 1997. So I'm married to him for 20 years and equally to the issue of informal workers for last 20 years. So both urban and this informal economy and especially the women are very close to my heart. So I won't talk more about the structure which already Arvind has spoken. I'll talk how we took this gender issues, women issues in all this informal economy. When we talk about informal economy, whether it is my experience says, whether it is in India or in other part of the globe, it's really poor. When you talk, because in many countries, even their work is not recognized, and it's really very drastic. It is very bad in India also. As we say that 93% of the workforce works in informal economy, and 50% of that is are the women. And those 50% hardly 10 or 20% are recognized. Many of their work, those who work at home as a home-based workers, those who work as a domestic workers, their work is not even recognized. So in last 20 years, we have tried to work on giving them recognition and how to include them, how to make that inclusive social economy work for them. Because when we talk about solidarity economy, we mean that we have to include them. We have to put them on driver's seat. Unless and until we engage with them and we make the owner of the work, we cannot bring the change we can't even think of. So this is the work we have been doing through various programs. As you say, this web of development, when we mean this web of developments, so there are so many traits there for development. And in this way, we have grown through many social enterprises, many organizations many of them are headed by women. Many of the enterprises are headed by the women. Yeah. So in India, still, 2 decades ago, it was really a tough issue. Access to financial services was a major concern of the informal economy, though it has not improved very much. But 20 years ago, it was a tough issue. So we started working on it, and we established one organization called Nidan Microfinance Foundation that was registered under Companies Act. And under this microfinance foundation, we started working on microcredits, micro insurance, micro pension, promoting entrepreneurships and enterprises, remittance, and again, a Sanjay Thrift and Credit Cooperative. I'll talk about all these separately. So let us start first the Sanjay. Sanjay is a Hindi word in India, which means thrift. It's beyond saving also. So when it becomes very tough for informal workers to save, though thrift was a thing which was not thought about the informal workers. And there are many stories of women especially, because women has to save from alcoholic husband, they have to save money for the future. And there are many stories. Women digging hole in their house and keeping money. And after a few years, even forgetting where that money is. The money eaten by rats. And because they used to hide it, they had no access to bank. They cannot go to the bank to deposit their money. So they used to have these informal way of saving money. So that was really a very serious concern for us when we started working for them. And then we tried to work with banks when that didn't work. So we decided to promote a cooperative. And that cooperative is basically, it's their cooperative for women, by women, and it is managed by them. So initially we did a hand-holding kind of thing. Now they are on the power seat, they save the money, they lend it. And this model is replicated in 6 cities of India. One is Patna, another one is in Delhi, Muzaffarpur, Vaishali, Samastipur, and Mumbai. Few are semi-urban kind of things, and 3 you can see this. Mumbai is a metro city in India, and there these models are really working. these informal workers who were not even able to go to the bank, now they have more than 100,000 savings, and they can lend their society, and they're gaining out of it. So it's making money, it's making profit to them, and also creating inclusive social economy. So this is what we are talking about. They don't have to depend on the banks. They don't now have to go to the money lenders who charge hefty things. So that's the safe kind of things which we are trying to promote. And this model is not just an ownership model, they are employing also. In many of the programs, this has created employment for the community, because the people working in these cooperatives are from the community. They go to the field, they collect money, they assess the loan requirements, they give loan, and the profit generated from that cooperative helps this cooperative to employ many people. So this has proved a very successful model, not in just giving safe financial access or inclusive financial, to support inclusive financial economy, but also employment to many unemployed youths in India. So this model is, and we are trying to replicate in other cities also. So again, this is a community-based saving groups. As I said, access to bank is a real problem in India, and especially in rural areas, and especially for women. So we try to create innovative methods how to save and protect the hard-earned money. So this is one group. This is a group of 10 to 15 women. They come together, they sit together and save for their future. Many groups have saved up to 100,000 rupees. If there is a marriage of a lady, they don't have to borrow money from anyone. They manage from these groups. If there is some accident or there's a health issue, they manage from it. So this again has been a very good initiative started by Nidan. And again, this is a self-help group model, which we all talk about it. It started 3 decades. This is a movement which started around 3 decades in India. And it has helped many women to come out to organize together with their issues. It's not just a tool for a saving, also a tool for social development. Because through SHG groups, which we call it self-help groups, women come together, they make a group, they save, they lend, and they also talk about the social issues. And through these SAGs, Nidan has been able to organize more than 90,000 women in India. Through these 6,000 SAGs. And again, when we talk about social security, this is again a very critical issue for informal workers. There are many schemes, there are many policies, but it is hardly implemented. As in one of the presentation, Arvind was talking about this, the previous government had made some policies and it was working. And the previous government was little pro-poor, so they were working in consultation with us and many organizations like us. So they designed many social security schemes, for example, for domestic workers, for artisans, and they included that. But in recent government, it is not happening. So we are still working on policy level. But the social security is a real concern still for informal workers in our country. So there are some these schemes like Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana. It's a universal health program which is supposed to be to reach every citizen of India, but it is hardly working, and it has a bad experience. The hospitals making money out of it. Because what happened, I'll just share a very bad example which happened in one of the area where we worked. Because under this scheme, so women were enrolled and they just had to carry their cards to the hospitals, and the money was reimbursed automatically. It was cashless kind of thing. So what hospitals tried to do, they tried saying all the women, many women in the reproductive phase, to remove their uterus. They used to say the uterus is not working and remove it. So it was a kind of scam that happened in one of the cities, and it was in the news actually, that in a couple of months, more than 200 women lost their uterus, those who were in reproductive phase. So those kind of things were happening under the social security scheme and under insurance. And since we were working very closely as a watchdog, because what we do, we work in the community as a watchdog also. If something like this happen, we take this issue to the policymakers. And now that was really, that came to the news, and that news really worked, and that insurance company was blacklisted, those hospitals were blacklisted. That kind of things happened in social security things. And uh, uh, like I said, with the development, there are many components. So we touch all the stakeholders. So in one of the state of India, this Orissa, we all, yeah, oh, sorry. How do we go back? Yeah, yeah, yeah. To highlight the issue of social security, I have to keep the finger there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do I need to keep the finger here? Yeah. Yes.